today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. Later on this month, on the 11th, Olympic gold medalist and unbeaten up-and-comer in the women's welterweight division, Lauren Price of the United Kingdom, will be returning to action against Germany's own Naomi Mans on the undercard of Tony Yoka versus Carlos Takam over there in Gay Paris.
They're shipping Lauren out to France for this one.
It's important to note that this is not necessarily a Sky Sports and Boxer show. This show she's participating in, it's not on their dime. They're outsourcing her.
Not dissimilar from how Top Rank outsourced Michaela Mayer and Artur Beterbiev.
Lauren Price, the unbeaten up-and-comer, the Southpaw, sports a professional record of 2 wins with no losses, no draws, 1 recorded knockout.
Just one.
To Naomi Mans, who has more professional experience, more rounds in the bank, sporting a professional record of 6 wins with 1 loss, no draws.
4 knockouts.
Having never been knocked out in 7 professional contests, 7 professional bouts, she's coming right off a loss.
Points decision loss to the United Kingdom's own Kirsty Bavington.
I want to say that for Lauren Price, because she only has 2 fights, because she's still got a lot more experience that she needs to garner, this is a solid opponent choice for Lauren given these circumstances. Even if Naomi Mans is coming off a loss, she's not exactly a journeywoman.
Yeah, she might have lost her last fight, but she's still a more experienced professional than Lauren is right now.
Lauren Price, the decorated amateur, the unbeaten up-and-comer, the highly touted unbeaten up-and-comer. You know, I feel like Lauren should be fighting more. She debuted as a professional last year, and she only fought 2 times last year.
I felt like she could have fought more, should have fought more.
The fact that they're outsourcing her to someone else's show that will be shown by way of Sky Sports, the fact that they're doing this opens a door to where perhaps Lauren can be a little bit more busy this year than she was last year if they outsource her, which is what they're doing.
Gotta keep her busy, keep her active, let her get those rounds in the bank.
Lauren Price campaigns in the women's welterweight division. Welterweight, that's where Jessica McCaskill is the woman to beat. Jessica McCaskill, who's going to be sharing the ring with her mandatory challenger, Ivana Habazin of Croatia, very soon. That's where the WBO title is currently vacant. As it stands, Cindy Ryan
of the United Kingdom. She's going to be taking on unbeaten up-and-comer Marie-Pierre Huel of Canada for the newly vacated WBO title. A new champion will be crowned.
That's also where the United Kingdom's own Kirsty Bavington campaigns. Kirsty's going to see action very soon opposite the ring, Candy Wyatt.
These are the relevant fighters, the relevant names to Lauren Price, who campaigns at this weight. These are fighters that she may target beyond this upcoming Naomi Mans fight.
Lauren Price, the decorated amateur, the unbeaten up-and-comer, the Southpaw. She's an action fighter, fights at a fast pace.
Fast hands and fast feet.
She's very quick with those rapid-fire combinations. Her movement, you can see she's athletically gifted, but she is a fighter who's still transitioning from a more amateur style to a pro style.
That's what she's doing.
The takeaway from Lauren Price so far, when you first get a look at her, is that she's very fast.
She's quick.
And the women's welterweight division is sure to heat up within the next 12 months because of fighters like Lauren Price and Kirsty Bavington, the winner of McCaskill versus Habazin. They are on a collision course.
Eventually, Lauren's going to set her sights on them.
Lauren, who's going to be sharing the ring with Germany's own Naomi Mans very soon. Naomi, who just dropped a unanimous decision to Kirsty Bavington. Kirsty's no Lauren Price, you understand. Lauren Price is one of the more decorated amateurs the United Kingdom has ever produced, and she will likely go into this fight with Naomi, the considerable favorite.
You know, during those Olympics that Lauren Price competed in, all you could hear about was how great Lauren Price is.
Very good physical dimensions for a welterweight. She could one day see herself campaigning as a junior middleweight, perhaps at middleweight. I think middleweight would be her ceiling.
Lauren's not that big, and the girls get pretty big up there at middleweight.
I think middleweight would be Lauren Price's ceiling, several years from now, several years down the line.
Lauren last saw action in October of last year on the undercard of what was the Shields versus Marshall showdown.
Racked up a 4th-round technical knockout opposite the ring to Mia Bellick.
I'd be very much impressed if she could rack up another knockout opposite the ring Naomi Mans, who's never been knocked out, who's never been stopped, and she's got more rounds in the bank as a professional than Lauren does.
Yeah, if she can knock Naomi out, I would be impressed by that. This is set to go down later on this month on the 11th, and we'll talk more about the fight, give it a closer look as the fight date approaches.
Fight day, they wouldn't call you all kinds of names, but you fought them. You know what I mean? We was trying to set up a fight with him last month because the BLK people called us.
This audio from Bozy Ennis, the father and trainer of Jaron Boots Ennis, has been making a lot of waves and making the rounds the last 24 hours. An admission that the Ennis people were in fact contacted by Black Prime to do a fight with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, who they've claimed has been running from them, trying to go around them.
They've been saying this for months, yet here you clearly hear Bozy Ennis say that Black Prime got in contact with them to do a fight with Terrence Crawford.
We was trying to set up a fight with him last month because BLK people called us. You know what I mean?
Late last year, when a David Avanesian fight was announced by way of Black Prime, you had a lot of critics asking, why didn't Terrence Crawford get in contact with Jaron Ennis?
We don't know exactly when this audio is from. We don't know that this interview was conducted this year or last year.
But what we do know, based on what Bozy Ennis is saying, is that at some point, Black Prime did get in contact with these guys, and it was about doing a fight with Terrence Crawford.
Whether or not it was ahead of the Avanesian fight or afterwards.
It's Bozy Ennis himself admitting that they were contacted about doing a fight with that guy.
And I said, yeah, we'll take him in a heartbeat, just like that, right? And they said, all right, let's sit down and talk. I said, oh, you got to talk to my people first, though. Showtime.
Yes. Now, late last year, when all those critics were levying all those criticisms towards Terrence Crawford for supposedly not reaching out to Jaron Boots Ennis, I myself stated that Jaron Boots Ennis fights exclusively on the Showtime platform. He doesn't box anywhere else.
He doesn't box on ESPN. He doesn't box on DAZN. He boxes exclusively on Showtime.
Because he seems to have some sort of arrangement with the people at Showtime, realistically, at least from where I was sitting, if you want to do a fight between Crawford and Ennis.
Terrence Crawford is a network and promotional free agent, whereas Jaron Ennis seems to be a Showtime fighter.
So Showtime's got to pay for it.
So according to Bozy Ennis himself, it seems that Black Prime wanted to pay to do the fight.
Showtime, because they're trying to be slick, trying to get me to do it on my own without Showtime. I don't do that. See, I'm loyal to Showtime because I'm going to tell y'all, I never signed up with Showtime.
Maybe he didn't. But Bozy Ennis and what he's saying seems to be the opposite of what was reported. In March of last year, when Boxing Scene broke a story that Jaron Ennis agreed to a multi-fight deal with Showtime to face Castillo Clayton on May 14th as the co-feature.
Maybe Bozy Ennis didn't sign anything, but maybe Cameron Duncan did. And Cameron Duncan, he does represent Jaron Boots Ennis.
He does handle his career. He is the liaison, the middleman between Jaron Boots Ennis and the people over there at Showtime. It's not just Bozy.
Yeah, I mean, Bozy's his father and he's his trainer, but Cameron Duncan is the guy you got to talk to.
Irrespective of what kind of arrangement they have with Showtime, contract or otherwise.
You know, I never signed, and my word is my bond. 3-fight deal, and whatever he said, we do it. You know what I mean? Yes, you know, a lot of people want Boots. Yes. You know what I mean?
A lot.
Yeah, from the zone, Top Rank, all of them wanted Boots, and they send a contract to me, and I show them, look at the money, this is good money. But when I tell somebody something, I'm loyal to them, man.
If it's Team Ennis's wish to pledge fealty to the Showtime platform on paper or otherwise, that's their prerogative. But don't claim that Terrence Crawford is somehow avoiding you or going around you when Black Prime reaches out to you to do a fight.
You're telling every man, woman, and his dog that Terrence Crawford is going around you by reaching out to you to do a fight.
BoxingScene.com published a story just the other day where Bozy Ennis himself is once again bumping his gums, claiming that Terrence is avoiding them, going around them.
Criticizing the Alexis Rocha fight.
Which isn't a voluntary title defense, it's a mandatory title defense. Terrence Crawford is under orders to fight that guy.
Bozy asked in the article, why didn't Terrence call them? And then this audio comes out.
Well, according to you, he did get in contact with you guys by way of Black Prime.
I'm loyal to them, man. You know, they treat me good. When somebody treat me good, I'm gonna treat them good. Everybody try to pull me away from, these people treat me and Boots real good. You know what I mean? Sir. Ain't too many people do me and Boots do. You know what I mean? And he found out that, I'm not one of them guys that you can just say anything to and tell me to do this and tell me to do that. No, we talking together. You got to agree on certain things that I want, and I agree on certain things that you want.
Now that bit of it, that right there sounds to me like what Bozy Ennis wants is for them to dictate terms to Terrence Crawford, and bear in mind that Jaron Boots Ennis, his son, he's neither a big name...
He's not a big ticket seller. Only hardcore boxing fans even know who this man is.
Yeah, he's an unbeaten up-and-comer, and he's talented, but he's not worth any money. Not yet. He's not a big draw, not a big ticket seller, not a champion.
What the fuck do you have that Terrence Crawford needs? The fact they even reached out to you.
You know, that's an opportunity for you guys. That's not an opportunity for him. He doesn't need you.
You're not as mandatory.
He doesn't owe them a title shot, but it sounds like if they wanted to, they could have gotten one.
But alas, a fight didn't happen.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, you just don't take over. See? And that's what I like about Steven Espinoza.
Now, this audio from Bozy Ennis himself, not some boxing scribe, not a Mike Copinger or a Michael Benson. This audio from Bozy himself seems to confirm what I already thought, that for all their talk, Team Ennis don't actually want a Crawford fight.
It's all talk.
The eliminators you've been fighting in, those aren't WBO eliminators for Terrence's WBO title. Those have been IBF eliminators you've been fighting in. The Castillo-Clayton fight, the more recent Karen Chukatsian fight.
Those fights don't line you up for Terrence. They line you up for Errol.
But you don't spend as much time calling out Errol and talking about Errol as you talk about Terrence Crawford.
Why is that?
And then you say the people at Black Prime actually reached out to you so you could do a fight with Terrence Crawford, and you insist that Showtime has to be involved.
Why? According to you, you didn't sign anything with them.
That's what Bozy said. You heard the fucking audio.
You're saying that you're loyal to those guys because they treat you good, but you didn't actually sign anything with them. Well, that just makes all of this worse.
2 times as bad, because what that essentially means, if I'm hearing this right, is that you actually had the autonomy, the wiggle room to go over there, since you ain't signed nothing on paper with Showtime.
Bozy said he never signed anything with Showtime.
So then why the hell are you bringing up Showtime as an excuse not to sit down with these people?
Sit down with Black Prime. Black Prime would have been the ones paying for the fight, not Showtime. If Showtime wants to pay for the fight, let them come up with an offer for Terrence.
If they haven't come up with an offer for Terrence, if they haven't reached out to him to do a fight between you and him, and Black Prime has, surely
Go with Black Prime's offer.
go talk to them. They want to talk to you since you want this fight so fucking bad.
It's all bullshit.
It's fucking bullshit. In all likelihood, had Jaron Ennis entertained Black Prime and went over there and sat down with them, talked to them about doing a Crawford fight, he would have got a career high purse.
He would have got more money for boxing Terrence Crawford on Black Prime. Surely more money than what he's making slapping up Castillo-Claytons and Chukatsians.
What do you think he's making to fight those kinds of guys?
Here's the skinny. The spin doctors have already begun to spin this audio, tell you their version of it.
Ad-libbing reasons why the Bozy Ennis people haven't essentially told on themselves. They expect me and you to give Team Ennis the benefit of the doubt more than Terrence Crawford.
Because that's how it always works out with those guys.
The argument is always that the other fighter deserves the benefit of the doubt more than Terrence Crawford, even when the other fighter is a guy who hasn't proven anything or beaten anyone.
Even when the other guy's father is admitting that people at Black Prime, they reached out. They tried to do a fight between him and Terrence Crawford.
At most, and at minimum, this kills that narrative that Terrence Crawford is somehow avoiding Jaron Boots Ennis when, according to Bozy Ennis, they reached out.
This takes care of that.
Whether or not you agree with Team Ennis's rationale is besides the point, because according to Team Ennis, Crawford reached out, Black Prime reached out, they tried to do it.
Has the Showtime platform that Team Ennis is loyal to offered Terrence Crawford any money to fight Jaron Boots Ennis?
Have they offered him any money to come over to their platform and give what is their fighter an opportunity? Have they done that? Because if they haven't,
Then you should have went with Black Prime.
I don't give a shit if you're loyal to them or not. If Black Prime is offering to do the fight and Showtime isn't, then you know what? If you want the fight, you go to Black Prime.
That's it.
Loyal to Showtime. For God's sake, Showtime only got Jaron Boots Ennis out there once. Just once! The entirety of last year. And these are the people that you're loyal to.
What, are you an idiot?
You must be, because you just told on yourself. If not for this audio, we never would have known that Team Ennis swerved a Crawford fight. And finally, just in keeping with the theme of all things welterweight, apparently, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford are reportedly now negotiating with each other directly over the phone, quote unquote, and have agreed to a purse split. Spence versus Keith Thurman and Crawford versus Alexis Rocha expected next. But progress for Spence versus Crawford in 2023, according to Mike Copinger.
Pardon me if I'm not excited, but I heard rumors just like this one last year.
Yeah.
So you're still trying to sell me on Spence versus Thurman. That's still next.
Yeah.
At a time when Terrence Crawford is making headlines for the upcoming Alexis Rocha fight and participating in a major feature film.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford is on the red carpet for his role, however big or small it was, in the major motion picture Creed 3. What's the news on Errol?
Oh, he's spinning the block. He has re-entered talks to take on Terrence Crawford, and it only took him, January, February?
The David Avanesian fight that took place last year. Immediately after that fight, if all it took was getting on the phone with the guy, you could have got on the phone with him then.
But you get on the phone with him now, when he's making more news, making more headlines, and getting more people talking than you are, you and your upcoming fight. with Keith Thurman. I'm not fooled. I'm not taken by these rumors because I've been hearing rumors just like this one for the last 5 years. Just last year.
I read this book before.
Timing of this revelation is impeccable. At a time when Terrence is making more news and more headlines than Errol is. Errol, who's supposed to be some kind of big fish. I don't know in whose pond.
When have you ever heard of a quote-unquote big fish, a big draw, a big marquee attraction, not guaranteeing his opponent a nice-sized price?
A big guarantee. The news now is that they've agreed to a purse split. A split of what? A split of the nothing that you guaranteed him last year? A split of the promise? The IOU?
Oh, come on, you tell me, what's a split? 60-40 of nothing.
Split. 50-50 of a promise? 50-50 if you wish upon a star? What's the split? What are they splitting?
The ratio of unicorns versus werewolves in the greater tri-state area? What exactly are they splitting?
You see, the truth is that at this point, after approximately 5 years and all the different rumors and rumblings, just like this one that we've heard, even if this news checks out and it's legitimate and they have re-entered talks to try and do a fight later on this year,
Even if that's true, you know that it could still fall apart. Just like everything fell apart last year, it could still fall apart this year. So pardon me if I'm not excited.
even if the rumor is true and they are talking and there is progress, that's not their next fight, even though it should be.
You waited good up until the WBO orders the Rocha fight. Terrence Crawford is under orders, thus he has to deal with him to re-enter talks?
You couldn't have done this immediately after the Avanesian fight? Get a jump on things so that early the following year you can go straight into the fight with him? You couldn't have done this in January before the WBO's order came down. The WBC doesn't seem to be pressuring Errol Spence Jr. to hurry up and announce that Keith Thurman fight. I mean, Errol's got wiggle room. What was stopping Errol from doing this?
You had all of January to do this and most of February. You waited up until after the WBO orders him to fight another guy.
And now this. I've got fights that are already made that I'm excited about, like Zoo versus Harrison and Inui versus Fulton.
Kenshiro Taraji versus Bomba Gonzalez.
So spare me. Let me know when the fight is actually made.